What's up, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Call Me Thursday podcast. You're here with your best girl, Sarah, and I am here with my best girl, Sav, fresh off the old bachelorette trip.
Fresh off the trip, fresh off the hair salon.
Fresh off
Not
the
to
hair
startle
salon.
anyone on YouTube, but your girl is a brunette. And oh my gosh, we have so much to recap. We have so much to recap from the weekend. It was so much fun, so much rest, so much just so much relaxation, which I feel like most people can't say about a bachelorette trip. But I feel rested for one. I got plenty of sleep. We had lots of cozy time. When I was making the post today for the Instagram page, it was like fighting the amount of times that I wanted to put like morning cozies, afternoon cozies, evening cozies, like so much cozy time. But it was so much fun though. And
It was.
yeah, I'm officially brunette, so feeling good about it. Feeling much better about it today than I was on Thursday when we got to the trip. I feel like everybody was sensing that I was a little bit uneasy, which I was, but we feel better now.
I was going to say we should start from the beginning of our time together. So,
Yeah.
since we got together, we saw each other on Thursday. So now we're taking this back for you guys. We're taking this, but you're getting a whole week recap because now that you're hearing this on a Thursday, you went to go get your hair done, catch people up. This is like an every couple of years thing for you where you're like, you burn it all down and you go brunette.
It is. And I've like accepted this about myself because every time I go back to I would say this is close to my natural hair color. I'm going back because I don't want to get my hair done anymore. I'm sick of paying for it. I'm sick of the trouble. So I'm just going to keep it dark. And then I go roughly a year to 2 years and end up going back blonde. And I've just accepted that about myself and it's fine. So I could convince myself or attempt to convince myself that I'm going to keep it this color for a long time. And like, I really do. I think it looks good. Like I like it, how it accentuates like a darker side of myself, like darker features, the eyebrows, that kind of thing. But usually it's around the winter time when I don't have the sun kiss. I'm a little bit pasty and I'm like, it's giving rat. Okay. It's giving ugly. Okay. But I'm feeling better about it now. And the thing about it is that when I got my hair done on Thursday, so I headed down to the beach with our friend Grace on Thursday, like mid-morning, and I got my hair done like first thing that morning. So flew into Birmingham super late that night. On Wednesday night, made your sign for the bachelorette trip, finished that at like midnight, and then went to bed, went straight to the hair salon in the morning. And I told her, I was like, please do not make my hair red, because last time I went brown, they made me a legit redhead. Like I might as well have been Donna from Suits at that point. And I was like, please don't do that to me. And so I think in order to like counteract me going redhead, she added these like kind of muted, like a gray brown almost. That sounds disgusting. And like, if you're not watching on YouTube, you're probably like, what did this girl do to her hair? But it was just a really like dusty brown. But now that I've washed it, she's warming up. She's not red. She's like a chocolate. And I'm happy with it, which I think is the goal. Like whenever you go darker, you've got to give it a little bit of space to fade out. And she's doing what I was expecting her to do. So I'm happy with it.
And that's great. And we went to the beach, but we really didn't have, the sun didn't come out all weekend. So there wasn't really a chance for you to get sun like right after it happened. So the weekend you were like a little like putting on blush at like 7 a.m. because you're like, I need to not look like my father. So
I don't want to look in the mirror right now because all I see is Michael Buttram. And as much as I love Michael Buttram, I don't want to look like him. So
no. So like the weekend didn't really give you the chance for it to come around. But like, I think you said earlier today, like you got a little bit of sun right when you got home and you were like, okay, I feel good.
Yeah. I got back to Birmingham, got in the pool, got a little bit of sun, and it was great. But yeah, we had a gloomy weekend, but I think that I was telling all the girls on the trip, I was like, listen, I don't think Sarah cares. Like, I think that she is completely fine with a cozy weekend and like watching some TV, binging a show together, which I have to get into that with I'm stealing that from my content consumer bit because I want to talk about the show. But I feel like it was almost like a throwback to our high school spring break when it was rainy, it was gloomy. You were completely content watching Gossip Girl on the couch, and I was having a panic attack because I felt like I had to be on the beach or in the sun, even though it wasn't sunny. And I think I did a good job at stifling that side of me this weekend.
Well, and I too, like I I felt a little bit like, oh man, everyone came here for me. And it's like, man, I really hope I'm not letting anybody down. But like, truthfully, this is as fun as it gets for me. Like, this is my definition of
This is
fun.
my peak of fun.
This is fun for me. Like, had it been a little bit sunnier, I would have like maybe taken more like maybe more walks, because I feel like the walk we went on was very enjoyable, and I'm glad that we got out for that. But like, there isn't anything, especially because hey, I just washed my hair and blew my hair out like 2 days prior. Like, I wasn't trying to get my hair wet, so like that's not fun for me. Getting my hair wet's not fun, and getting my hair wet when I don't plan for it to get wet, it's not fun. But also like, I get it. Everyone's busy. Everyone's running around. Everyone can't sit down for 5 minutes. But like, because I am the bride, I will be making this about me, and that like, no, but I'm getting married in 4 months. Like, I crammed everything into a 4-month period, which I would do 10 times over. I think everyone should do it. Short engagements for the win. But it's just been insanity. Like, it's just been, I think, like the emotional of it, but then also like going between here and Atlanta, and then like took a trip with my family, took a trip with you guys. I'm about to be out of town like the week that the movers are coming. I'm going to be in Orlando for 4 or 5 days for work. Like, I've just been
it never ends.
Yeah, I feel like I just haven't really like like really gotten like good rest time, because even when I am home and like weekends that I'm home and stuff, it's like there's always work to be done. And I know that's such like our Martha Spirit. Like, there's just like but there really isn't so true. Like, there's just always something to do. Like, there's always boxes to be packed. There's always like, I could always be packing. I could always, and I think that's maybe what it's been. So it's not even been like, yeah, it has been busy, but it's also been like, just when you are getting engaged in like this much time, or like when you're getting married in this much time, there's just always something to do. And as somebody who like, okay, if there's something to do, we need to go do it. Like, holy cow. And so I just really wanted to like not do anything. Like, I really just wanted to go on the trip and just like rest with my friends, to chit chat. Like, Emily and Allison make fun of me all the time because they'll ask me like, what's your idea of fun? I'm like, to sit quietly. And like, they're like, well, what do you do with your friends? I'm like, we eat and we sit and we talk. And like, that's what I do with my friends. And like, that's when I have fun with my friends. And like, what did we do this weekend? We ate, we sat, we talked. Like, this is what
sometimes we sat quietly. Yeah.
And sometimes we sat quietly. And like, that is fun for me. And I think it got like deeper into like in my head, it's like, oh my gosh, like, should I be giving a reaction that's like different than the reaction that I'm giving? Or should I be? But it's like, no, it's exactly what you said. You guys know me, and you know that like fun for me is exactly that. It's like not doing a whole lot, and it's fun for me. And not to make it about me, but it was about me. It's my name on the shirt.
Literally, that's what matters. So. That is what matters. And I think that's like, it's just a sign that like, I'm truly not trying to pat myself on the back, but it's just a sign that like you have good girlfriends. Like, you really do have a group of great girlfriends who love you and who are willing to like curate the trip to fit you, and not like make it about themselves or make it like what they think it should be, because I think everybody has this picturesque version of what a bachelorette should be. And like, it's wild, it's crazy, it's lots of alcohol, it's lots of staying out late, and it's like go, go, go. But it's like, what fun is that if it's not what you want? Literally, it's about you. Literally, it's about you. So like, let's just do what the heck you want. And I just have to say that I think we all were grateful that what you wanted was to rot on the couch and binge a show with your friends and like have some cozy snacks. And then have like a nice dinner out, go on a walk when the weather cleared up a little bit. We had a couple hours on the beach. I was grateful to see the ocean. Haven't seen the Gulf of Mexico in a few years. Happy about that. And like, it was good. It was so much fun.
Fantastic. And I think that like deep down, because, and this is the thing that's like, because I know that all of you are ripping and running in your own regard, like in your own areas, in your own way. Like, you're all running a million miles an hour.
We all needed it.
You all needed it, like, yeah. I have to believe, I think that's how I was able to settle it all in my head. It's like, no, they needed this as much as I did. Like, it's crazy for me, like, but in like the bride category of crazy, but like everyone is dealing with their own category of crazy every single day. And like, we all needed it. And we did just that. Like, I kid you not, like, go look on the Instagram, guys. It was we like pulled all of the comforters like off of the beds, and like they were just on the couches, and we just
Which
sat.
you've done before on previous beach trips, from what I hear.
I have done that on previous. If I can't find a throw blanket, I will take the blankets off of the bed all day long. We did that the last year that me, Meredith, and Katie have had some sort of trip together every year for the last like 5 years. This was like the 5th year that we've been doing it. We started doing it in 2020, and I think it had to have been last year. I think we stayed at this place. We thought that we were gonna like go out and about the first night we were there, and we pulled the comforters off of the beds and watched Shark Tank until we all fell asleep on the couch. Like that, but that to me, like, that's my kind of trip. That's my kind of trip. And if, hey, I've been on trips where like the vibe is we're going out and like I can hang. Like I'll go, I'll hang, I'll do it. But if it's my trip, that's just not what we're doing.
Best believe if we're not going out and hanging, like it's great. We're staying in and hanging, and it's good. No, I think it was really fun. And shout out to Sweet A for catering us breakfast from
the best
Maple Street. I just have to say I was blown away. The cinnamon biscuits,
so good.
Made my life. Shout out to Maple Street Biscuit Company, question mark.
I think that's what it was, yeah.
If ever you are looking for a podcast to sponsor, or your girls, listen, I'll advertise for you for all the day long.
It was so good. And that was so sweet of her to bring in breakfast, even though she couldn't make it on the trip. And then really just like the whole thing was just so dialed in, so perfect. The like the theme, the shirts, the hydrangeas, just all like I think it was just enough. Like it wasn't like overly themey, but it wasn't like super plain. It was so perfect. There was one night where I went out and wore white and had a really great meal. Like that was perfect. Only having like one of those I think was great.
Just one,
and then
only one.
Just one was perfect. And then the charcuterie guys. So like something about me, I am like your least fancy friend. Like the different types of like cheeses and spreads and meats and like different types of wine. Like I'm your least fancy friend. So like charcuterie is all well and good, but like I'm gonna find like the Ritz and the like pepperonis, like I'm not like I'm not super like cultured in that area. So instead of like charcuterie one night for dinner, we had charcuterie, and it was all like bagel bites, pizza rolls, dino chicken nuggets, oatmeal cream pies, like all the stuff from like my childhood that I cannot eat today because we all were like passing the bottle of Tums afterward because we're too old to be eating like this. But like it's all the stuff from my childhood that I love.
No,
it
was
like,
the throwback
this is
snacks.
For me.
It was the throwback snacks because it was like it's not necessarily that you eat any of that regularly now, but like I just remember Sarah being a walking brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tart when we were younger, and so we just like played to that, and I think it was so cute. Like
it was so cute, and it's stuff that like I eat. Like it's like I saw this and I'm like, let's go. Like this is. I went back 3 different times. Like the nacho Lunchables. Like, are you kidding me? Ate a whole one of those.
Why do I not have this in the regular rotation? These are so good.
They're so good. And so I felt like, and that's what I mean by like the things that were just so me, because it was like the charcuterie, and then you guys have seen these pictures on Instagram, like the Sarah's eras. It was
highlight of the trip, honestly.
Highlight of the trip. And it was just, and I was telling Jay about that. And he's like, wow, like you have really amazing friends who like know you and love you. And I was like, I know. But everybody, so I was surprised. It was before we went to dinner. And with as people, Grace said something, she was like, instead of doing like we were highlighting all of Sarah's eras. And then I opened my eyes and the first song it's playing it's Sav, and she's like childhood Sarah. And then it's Grace and she's high school Sarah. And like every person that comes out has their own song. Katie was college Sarah. Meredith was my first job out of college Sarah, which was miserable.
Sad girl reporter Sarah.
Sad girl reporter Sarah. And then Emily was fitness instructor Sarah. And Allison was podcaster Sarah, and everything had its own matching song, and they all were just dressed up like me, and it was.
And we all wore it to dinner too. We all
that was the best part. Too.
I was at a nice Italian restaurant in my shorts, overalls, and my scrunchy hair. And
yes, and she was sister, childhood Sarah, and Katie too. Like Katie's outfit. It's because I have that exact like it was to a T. That exact outfit I wore all of the time. Like the Troy faded red Comfort Colors t-shirt, the Nike shorts with the piping, Like, it was so spot on.
The bandana around the ankle,
The
the
bandana's around the ankle.
backpack that you never took off.
And that was hiked to high
The
heaven.
hiked up backpack. Literally.
And even Grace and Katie both having the red bandanas was so good. And then Emily being fitness instructor Sarah and walking out to a song that like Meredith had to text D-Lo to get the perfect song. Because when I heard it, I was like, this song has been in like half of my True 40 playlist.
Yeah.
And like seeing Emily walk out and they all had props. So like Emily had on a headset. Meredith had a microphone with a mic flag that she like drew the station logo for the station that I worked at. Like Grace was wearing stuff that we literally wore in high school. I'm like, how do you still fit into this?
Dude, she put on that white THS cheer tank, and I was like, that just sent me. Like, I haven't seen that tank top in a decade.
And she had the sweatpants to go with it. I'm like, how? One, are you fitting in this? Two, who was holding? I think she said her mom was holding on to all of this. Shout out to Kathy. But it was just so spot on, and it was one of those. It's like, wow, like, and you guys have been my friends like throughout. Like, you guys have been my friends through all the eras. Obviously, I've had my sisters the whole time. I mean, but like you and G, Meredith and Katie, like you guys, you know me, you know all the like the different eras. But Sarah's eras, it was so cute. And then I'm wearing like white. I'm wearing like this cute white outfit, and we all go to dinner dressed like that. And I don't think anybody could tell what we were. Like, I don't think we were obviously all friends, but like at the restaurant, at the beach, like there were other bachelorette groups. I don't think anybody could tell like who we are, or what we were doing. But I loved it. I loved it so much. It was so unique and like so me, which I loved.
Yeah, no, we were laughing too because we went to like a very cute Italian restaurant for dinner. Shout out to Mimo's. If you guys have not been to Mimo's in Blue Mountain Beach in Florida, like a little bit north of Rosemary Beach, so good. Like, so one of the best Italian food meals I've had in a long time. Mm-hmm. I think that there was another bachelorette group that was there, and they were all in like hot black dresses and like the brides in white. And me and Grace were like, there's two different kinds of bachelorette groups.
No, literally.
Us and them. But it was so much fun. And like, I think we totally could have rocked the like, everybody gets dressed up and like, we all look really hot and that whole thing. Like, we totally could have rocked that. But I think like, yeah, the Sarah's eras was just, it was just so, it was a memory. Like, it was a memory that you'll talk about with Jonathan until you guys are old and decrepit. So
exactly. No. Yeah. And it's very me. And like, hey, you guys are going to all wear black and look super hot. And it's just going to be on October 5th. You know, but like for this trip that was for
Why do we need to do it twice?
Why do you do it twice? But like this trip that was just me and my friends, the girls, it was very me coded. Like it was very the whole thing you could tell was for me. And with it being for me, it did result in us spending a lot of time on the couch, under covers, having snacks, having iced coffee. Then I switched to hot coffee. Then I switched to iced coffee, like having little coffees, little snackies.
On the couch with a blanket with a snack. We've talked about this before, guys. You know the drill.
That's really like, if it's up to me how we're spending our time, like that's what we're doing. And like even Jay and I, like when we, like some of our favorite quality time is like, we're just on the couch. It's like, we're just on the couch. We got a snack. So no, that's how I feel like refilled and refueled. Like I'm getting like a little bit of like a scratchy throat right now, which is so annoying. But I'm thinking like, hey, well, how much worse would it have been if I had been like ripping and running all weekend? But like I got the chance to like rest, relax.
You got good sleep. Exactly.
Yes, got great sleep. So it was fantastic. And I think that this is a beautiful segue into, so Sav is totally taking our call us content consumers, but it's okay because I have a backup. But this weekend, no, I have a backup. And actually, I didn't even think about that for being mine. I was thinking about another show that I just personally have been watching a lot of. But we binge watched a whole entire show over the weekend. So I think that it's fair to say that this is what you were content consuming. So go for it.
It was. And I would like to preface that it is only 6 episodes. And so we didn't spend like copious hours in front of the TV, but we did finish
6 hours total. 6 hours.
6 hours total. Maybe even a little bit less. Mm-hmm. But yeah, The Perfect Couple. So good, guys. If you haven't watched it, I think it's relatively new on Netflix, but I
just came out on the 5th. It came out on
literally the day we
first
got
day of
down
our
there.
trip. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. Well, yeah, just came out on Netflix based on an Ellen Hildebrand book, which apparently you can watch the movie and not completely spoil the book, according to Sarah, because she did read the book. But Nicole Kidman's in it. Amazing. Love Nicole Kidman. Love Dakota Fanning and love her character. I haven't watched Dakota Fanning in a movie in a very long time. And she was fantastic. Like, even because it's like, I've seen Dakota Fanning as a child character, and she plays like the sly, like you don't really know what she's about character in so many different movies. And she absolutely aces it in this one. So it's about, if you guys are curious, it's about there's a wedding happening. The main character's maid of honor, what was her name? Merritt. Main character's maid of honor gets murdered in the first episode. So it's not necessarily a spoiler, but the whole show is like trying to figure out how the murder happened or how the death happened, if it was a murder, and like kind of bouncing back and forth between the perspective of all the characters. So if you guys, I feel like Grace was talking about this when we were on the trip. She loves like a murder mystery novel where you're bouncing perspectives between all the characters. That's what the show was. And it was so good. And the best part about it, in my opinion, is that it matched the aesthetic of the show, matched the aesthetic of our trip. So like the branding that we did, where it was like the blue hydrangeas, it's very Hamptons, it's the blue and the white. It's like the classy, the elegant, like it's based in Nantucket. And so you've got the whole like Northeast Coast summer vibe going. It's stunning. It's beautiful. The architecture is amazing. And it's this like filthy rich family that's dealing with a murder that happened on their property. And it was so good.
It was so good. And it was one of those that even if you haven't read the book, like Sav said, I did read it. I don't think any of the other girls on the trip had, but you don't need to read the book.
I'm going to read the book next. Seriously.
The show, I think the actual read the book for sure, because it does give you like so many good like details and context. But I think how they did the show made the better show. Like it's different from the book, but it made so much of a better show.
Yeah.
I feel like Netflix, because it is like it's all centered around this wealthy family, and they really like gave it like the budget that it deserved, you know, like there was the house, there was the wardrobe, like it felt, everything did just feel very like
upscale,
elevated and fancy. And we were talking with all of the girls, though, we were having this conversation, and I don't know like if you guys feel this way too, but the Dakota Fanning, Anna Sophia Robb, Amanda Seyfried, like this whole, like I can't tell any of them apart half the time.
All of these like, pasty blonde girls, they all look so similar, because I thought that it was Amanda Seyfried when I first saw her, and I was like, no, she doesn't have the eyes.
Yeah, because Amanda Seyfried's eyes are very distinct. I thought that Dakota Fanning was in Bridge to Terabithia, but everyone's like, no, that's Anna Sophia Robb. I'm like, well, what else?
Blonde girl.
Yes, again. And it's like they're all girls. Like if I look close enough, I can tell the difference between all of them. But like just from afar, if they're just passing on a screen, it could be anybody. It could truly be anybody.
No one could blame you.
No one thank you. Like I feel like I'm not at fault for that one. Like I don't know who else falls into this category. Like sound off in the comments. Like who else is in this category? Because I feel like there's a whole lot of them that like honestly Nicole Kidman probably a little bit. Like they all are this like very fair-skinned blonde actresses that it's like you guys were all kind of coming up at the same time, and you all kind of look the same.
You're just a little bit hard to tell apart. Yeah. What content are you consuming?
I am consuming. I was going to do another podcast, but I was like, okay, let me flip. Like, what else have I been consuming outside of podcasts? And I have been watching a lot of The Nanny. This is I love a nighttime comedy. I think I'm learning about myself. You know, people say like wellnessy things, like you're not supposed to like don't watch TV before bed or don't have blue light before bed. And maturity is realizing like you get to decide kind of what wellness is. And you know, for some people, like wellness for them is not blue light for TV, but wellness for me is like I'm gonna watch a comedy before I go to sleep. And like I started doing that in 2020, and I think it like helps me a lot. I think like one of my New Year's resolutions sometime in the last 5 years was I wanted to laugh more. And I just feel like in general, like again, laughter's medicine. Hey, I didn't say that, the Bible did. So I will watch a comedy before I go to sleep every night. For the last few years, it's been Seinfeld, which I will stand on for the rest of my life that it is better than Friends. Like that is my hot take. Like Seinfeld It's better than Friends. It's funnier than Friends. The character's better. It's just it's Friends is good, but I adore Seinfeld. I saw Jerry Seinfeld live with my parents last year.
You did. You're allowed to have bias. It's fine.
Yeah, and so I'm biased for that because that was probably like one of the top memories I have with my parents was we went to dinner, and I think we went to dinner and then we just went straight to the show. And we were all like crying, laughing. We were laughing so hard. And Jerry Seinfeld's one of those, like, he's not like a comic that like curses a ton. And so he's like more of like
wholesome.
More wholesome, I guess, comic, but still really just funny and relevant and timely. And I love that show, but I'm kind of starting to get tired of it because I've seen it 100 times through. So I started watching The Nanny, guys. And I mean, I'm sure most of you guys have seen it. Like if you watch Nick at Night as a kid at all.
I actually never watched The Nanny in my life.
Nuh-uh. Really?
Yeah.
You never sat down and watched The Nanny?
I was always like, when I saw that, because I remember being a kid and like if that was what was on Nick at Night, I was like, meh, skip.
Nick at Night, the lineup when we were kids, all I remember is George Lopez.
Yep, always George Lopez.
The Nanny and Friends. That's what I remember.
Did Friends come on Nick at Night?
I think it used to.
Oh
I feel like it did because
there's a lot of like sex jokes in that show.
Yeah, I think that's why it was like Nick at Night. Like it was kind of like the Adult Swim version of Nickelodeon.
Yeah, George Lopez kind of does that too at times.
Yeah, so, I guess I watched a lot of George Lopez. I watched a lot of Friends, but even as a kid, I don't think I watched a ton of The Nanny. But then I stumbled across it on HBO Max one day, and then it's since moved to Peacock, I think. But it's so funny. And she just has this like horrible accent, but it's just one of those like I find a lot of comfort in like a comedy before bed.
That makes sense because it lifts your spirits before bed. You know, it might not be the best wellness for like your physical eyeballs, but for your spirit,
exactly.
Spirit wellness is just as important. Some might say even more important.
Like I like to giggle before I go to sleep. It's either that or these are my before bed. This is all in my like, before bed rotation. I used to be pretty good about going to sleep with no TV, but then like I stopped because it's like, why am I trying to be someone I'm not? You know, this isn't who I am. Like I can go to sleep without a TV, but I just if I don't have to, why would I? And so I will either watch Seinfeld or some sort of comedy, or I will watch my sports talk radio.
Just Sarah things.
But
the question is, does Jonathan go to bed with TV?
Well, that's the thing. I don't think he's ever had a TV in his room. We will be having a TV in our room. And so,
questions.
So, because even from the perspective of like, hey, if I'm sick and I'm laying in bed, like I want to watch TV while I'm laying in the bed. And
without your laptop. Yeah.
Yeah, without my laptop. I've my apartment in Huntsville, I didn't have a TV in my room, but other than that, pretty much always did. I think when we were kids, my parents took the TVs out of our room when the cable company started requiring you to have like a cable box for every TV.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's when they came out of our rooms then, maybe. I kind of have some vague memories of that. But yeah, for like my adult life, for the most part, I've always had a TV in my room and it's just convenient. And so I've asked him the same question. I'm like, well, so are we going to watch TV? And he's like, well, I don't know. I don't know if I'll like it. Like, so this is going to be a toss up. Like this is either going to be great or it's going to be not so great. But I'm already giving up my, I do sleep every night too with my, like now we're getting in my nighttime routine. I do sleep every night with my Himalayan salt lamps. Like the pink lamps, so like my room has like the pinky red glow when I go to sleep every night.
You have the pinky red glow all night long?
All night long.
Oh.
Go to sleep with it, wake up with it.
I can't do that.
So I sleep with that and I feel like it helps and I kind of like the vibe. It's just like it's like a little bit of a nightlight, but it's just like this like soft pinky red glow that like fills my room. And I do turn it down. It's on a dimmer kind of like both lamps are on dimmers. But if I turn it like all the way up, like all four walls of my room are red. Like so I dim it a little bit, just so it's not as like harsh. But I love those too, and I don't think that those are coming with me. I don't think the pink lamps are coming. So
that's okay. But you know what? You can only give up so much. You really can.
Yeah.
But I will say, I died on the hill of no TV in the bedroom when we got married, and I will say, in the past like 5 or 6 months, we've started to do the whole like we'll like wind down the house, clean up the kitchen. We get to the bedroom, and I'm like, I'm not quite ready for sleep yet. And we have our old TV just like sitting in our bedroom because we haven't like found a thing to do with it yet. And I'm like, do you want to watch an episode of Suits? And so we'll like set up the TV. This is so annoying and like so much extra work. He's like, just keep the TV set up, Savannah. But I'm like, I like make him take it down every time that we do this. But like, we'll like set the TV up and turn on an episode of Suits, and I'll fall asleep 10 minutes in, as I always do. But I do like that as a nice little luxury every once in a while. It's nice to cuddle in bed and watch an episode and fall asleep 10 minutes in, you know?
Yes. And that's really all it's for. Like, it's either at nighttime or like if I'm sick, it is really nice to
totally
plug like you have the TV in, and
when the stomach bug hit the Chavez household, that's exactly what I was doing.
Yep. No. And we watched a surprising amount we did watch some Suits this weekend. Suits is never going to get old. The girls love Suits.
It's not. And we watched some of the best episodes. Because Grace was watching like some of the best moments of Harvey, and I was like, I love him so much.
He is. Jessica's the best. The secretaries like Donna and Gretchen are great
stars.
I could go without Mike all day long, though.
Yeah, no, I'm watching some episodes where Mike and Rachel aren't really present, and I'm like, could do a show without them, honestly.
No, when I watch without them, I've watched it one time all the way through, and I started it a second time through, and I stopped right before Mike went to jail. But in the episodes that were very Mike centric, like back to his childhood and stuff, I just skipped those.
Yeah,
like, I don't care to. I've seen it once. I mean, you need to see the whole show in its entirety once. But when I'm rewatching, I'm like, I don't want to rewatch the parts I don't like.
I feel you on that. I'm trying to think. It just reminded me of how we're like hating on certain parts of Suits. That Jackie Oshry, she was posting about how much she hated The Perfect Couple. So if you guys don't know Jackie Oshry, she's part of The Toast, a really popular podcast. And she was absolutely crapping on The Perfect Couple. And she was saying Isabel, the French character, she was like, I'm realizing episode 4 was a little more tolerable because this fake Moira Rose Isabel didn't make an appearance. She said Isabel was a fake Moira Rose from Schitt's Creek, which I was like, honestly, that kind of tracks.
Yeah. Wow. Now that you say that, it's like they were almost trying to replicate some of the Moira energy.
Yeah.
But Moira, to this day, she is the most unique character on television.
Yeah.
There is not anybody that you can compare Moira to.
Now I want to go back and watch Schitt's Creek again. I haven't watched it in so long.
That's a great show.
That's a great before bed comedy. It really is.
It is. And that is probably top 5 shows of all time.
Yeah.
Top 5.
In terms of like quotability and like character, just the uniqueness of characters, so good.
So good. What are your on the spot top 5 best shows of all time?
No, I'm really bad at this. I'm gonna say Suits. I'm gonna say Grey's up to like season 12. Grey's Anatomy.
Fair.
After season 12, I'm like, you really should have cut it off then. Like, I'm not gonna say after Derek dies, but like soon after Derek dies, we really should have just cut it off.
I agree.
New Girl. For me, it's like it's not that I'm ranking these as like the best set of all time, but like for me.
Yeah, no, these are your best of all time. Yes.
Yeah. Designated Survivor, mainly seasons 1 and 2. Once Netflix took over, I was like, that is one of my pet peeves in television. We talked about this weekend. One of my pet peeves in television is when Netflix particularly takes over a show's writing, and they obviously get more raunchy. They obviously get more foul language. And the annoying thing is that the characters were not like that before.
So it's
like, it's one thing to do that, and it's another thing to like, I don't even recognize these characters anymore. And you're just making this raunchy because you're allowed to, and I'm annoyed. So
yeah, I agree. Like when to make things, and this is my beef with TV shows in general. Like one of my top 5 shows of all time is Succession. And the show doesn't really have there are a handful of like kind of sexually explicit moments where you're like, ugh, I didn't really want to see that. But in the whole show, there's like 3 or 4 off the top of my head that I like maybe fast forwarded through. But and the language is pretty foul. But like in a way, the language kind of goes with the characters, goes with the plot, goes with the setting. And so it kind of like, not that you ever have to have bad language, but it kind of makes sense in the context that we're in.
Yeah, totally.
But when people add in bad language and it's like, wait, this doesn't even make sense. Like, this person doesn't talk, like, they don't need to talk this way. It does nothing for their character development. It tells me nothing about who they are. It does nothing for the setting that we're in. Like, this is just bad language just for the sake of bad language. And then, like, even with things that are like sexually explicit, which is so annoying to me, it's like, we know that if, you know, a certain music's playing, two people look at each other a certain way and a door is closed, like, we know what's happening. And so, like, if you need a sex scene for the plot, there's a way to very subtly imply that that happened and we can all put 2 plus 2 together. But to, like, make it so explicit and in my face and I'm seeing people's body parts, like, it's like you just want to put that kind of stuff on TV.
There's no need to include, like, soft porn.
None.
No need. Absolutely no need.
And it's
especially on a streaming platform that children have access to. Get out of here.
It's not additive to the characters. It's not additive to the plot. Like, it's truly, because anything that you want to achieve that is for the character or for the plot, like, we can do faces, we can do, like, facial expressions. I mean, they've been doing it.
There's a multitude of ideas.
There's a multitude.
Really.
I can give you guys 100 ideas. So when people just do stuff that's like, this has nothing to do with the character development or the plot development, it's like, now you're just being, like, raunchy, just, and it doesn't make any sense. And I'm the first person to say, if it makes sense for the characters and for the plot, like, I can look past bad language. I can look past a couple of things, but, like,
yeah,
when you're just doing it to do it, it's so annoying. And it's like, it makes me not want to watch. Like, do you think I'm dumb? Do you think you have to show me all of that for me to know what's happening? Like, I'm confused.
We're smarter than that. Here on Call Me Thursday, we're smarter than that. And that, like, Designated Survivor is always the show that I bring that up for, because season 3, it was like the flip of a switch. Did you watch that show?
Yes, I did. ABC had it for the first 2 seasons, and it was great. Netflix took it for season 3.
And the reason that you love the show so much is because, like, every single character has so much, like, purity, and, like, they're good people. And then all of a sudden, oh my God, what's the president's name?
I know exactly who you're talking about. I don't remember.
I keep wanting to say Jack Bauer, but that's in another show that I'm going to put in my top 5. But whenever the guy who's president just becomes, like, a total butthole. I was like, he was literally so kind. Like, why are you making him out to be like this? So anyways, Designated Survivor seasons 1 and 2, also in my top 5. Additionally, 24. I don't even know. Did I ever go on this whole rant about 24 with you? Because I started watching 24, I think maybe like our second year of marriage, we started watching it. But I remember my parents watching 24 when I was a kid. And it's got, like, the whole, like, do like the timer that goes on all of the, whatever, it's like changing through episodes or going to a commercial or whatever. And I remember, like, watching that on TV and being like, oh my God, my parents are watching 24. And then I would, like, walk in the room and they're like, shh, we're watching 24, hush. And so I understand the hype now. Such a good show, so intense, but absolutely amazing. And then my last one is going to be Gossip Girl.
Yeah, that's a good one.
A classic.
I will say, if you like Designated Survivor, you would love Madam Secretary.
Like, oh, I've heard that.
It is so, Jay put me on and I watched it, and it's like political, what's happening in Washington, like that kind of stuff. But also, like, everyone is so pure hearted, is so brilliant. Like, you walk away from an episode and it's like, if we had Elizabeth McCord as the Secretary of State, we would be in an incredible international position,
solving all of our problems.
Like, it really is. It's such a good show. Like, the political, because I feel like there are so few now political kind of dramas that are clean.
Yeah, because House of Cards was a train wreck.
Oh my gosh. Like, 2 seconds into that show, I'm like, whoa.
Literally, the whole thing is based on the couple, like, cheating on each other to get political power.
Like, it's so unnecessarily scary and bad. But Madam Secretary, it's like you get all the political, like, ooh, this is interesting, this is exciting. But everyone is pure. And there is it's wholesome. But it's still entertaining. And guys, it can be wholesome and entertaining. I promise.
If you hear nothing else, Hollywood, please.
We can do wholesome and entertaining. Like, we are not as, like, we don't lap this stuff up, I think, as much as you guys think we do. I don't know. Like,
I agree.
It's just way too much. It's way too much. I say all that to say, though, one of my top 5 is on HBO. So, whatevs.
Do with that what you will.
Succession is probably one of the best. I mean, it's in my top 5 for a reason. It's like plot, cinematography, characters, like amazing show. Succession is so good. Like I said, language is pretty foul, but it's really, really, really good. New Girl, that is the only show I think that I have been alone and laughed so hard I fell off my couch.
It's
like
so
it is so good.
That's my palate cleanser. If ever I watch something that's relatively scary, I'm like, I gotta watch some Schmidt before I go to bed.
It's such a palate cleanse. It's just, and it's good from beginning to end. Like it doesn't, the later seasons don't fizzle out. It's great from beginning to end. Like
Agreed.
So good. New Girl's amazing. This is like a little bit of like a hot take, but I don't mean for it to be. I'm always gonna have a soft spot for the Cosby Show. I love the Cosby Show. Like Felicia Rashad, like Mr. and Mrs. Huxtable are like Mrs. Huxtable is so goals. Like think about that. Like think about, there are probably just generations of people who look like me that like you see this like doctor, attorney, Black couple parenting their kids, and it's like you don't see a ton of that on TV. Like and I just,
especially
like,
20 years ago.
Yeah, no kidding. And like there have been times where like I like, and this is probably when I first started working, I'm like, I need to go like watch an episode of the Cosby Show where like Mrs. Huxtable was managing like a home and her career and her husband. I'm like, she's literally my inspiration.
I gotta get some Miss Huxtable energy going.
I need the Claire Huxtable energy. And so I'm always gonna love the Cosby Show. That's just such like a, like when a show that like your grandparents, your parents, and you have all watched. Like my kids are gonna probably watch the Cosby Show.
Yeah.
I think I'm able to separate like the bad guy, like a guy who did some bad stuff and a bad guy from like the actual show that he produced. What else? So that was 3. Yeah, Succession, New Girl. Yeah. Cosby Show. And then I just to put some other ones in there, I think Schitt's Creek was really, really good. That's a really good show.
One.
And now I'm getting into some honorable mentions. Like I haven't even done 5, but like Sister is such a good show. And you think I would have more serious shows in here, but yeah, I think like just Succession, Suits is great. I'd probably put Suits in there. But my top 5, I feel like they're rotating out. Like, because Seinfeld's also really good. I could probably do this also with just like 90s sitcoms. I could do like a top 5 of just 90s sitcoms. But yeah, I'm a comedies mixed with wholesome, like political dramas.
Yeah.
That's like my TV palette of choice.
I feel that. I think Christian would agree. He's so on How I Met Your Mother right now. He's really all about it. Absolutely.
I've never seen How I Met Your Mother, nor have I ever seen Modern Family.
Oh, I've never seen Modern Family. I've watched a little bit of How I Met Your Mother with Christian since he's been watching it back. But I think if you love Seinfeld and you love Friends, I think you would love How I Met Your Mother.
I do. I love all of those. And I also love, like, I do think that more people should watch, like, A Different World, Living Single. Like, you've got the Jamie Foxx show. You've got Martin. Like, because really there are for girlfriends. Are you kidding me? Like, for the, like, Sex in the Cities of the world with, like, a white female ensemble cast. Like, Girlfriends. So funny. Like, and
Girlfriends like the Black version of Sex in the City?
Like,
I've never even heard of Girlfriends.
So Tracy Ellis Ross is like the main character in it, but it's just about a group of girlfriends, and it's less. I've never watched the Sex in the City show, but from what I hear, it's like very explicit. Like with like body
especially
parts
for like the 90s. Yeah, for sure.
Girlfriends, like I don't think there's any language. Nothing really sexually explicit, but it's another like nighttime palate cleanse. It's just a group of 4 girls living in LA. Like Tracy Ellis Ross is an attorney. Her friend Tony Childs is like this super spoiled gal. She seems like she's spoiled, but she has like a backstory. Maya is she like was a teen mom and now she's older, but she's like the youngest of their friend group and has a kid. And then Lynn is this like forever student who's like kind of a hippie. And then their other friend, William, also works at the law firm. And so it's a, like Friends, I feel like was the quintessential, like, you know, ensemble sitcom. But there are a couple, like Living Single, it's like male and female ensemble. Those are all Black folks. Girlfriends. And then you have like other ones like Jamie Foxx show. You've got Martin. You've got all those other shows. But there's like a whole other side to 90s sitcoms that is not Friends or Seinfeld. And those are all really good too. So I love, and like A Different World, which is a spinoff off the Cosby Show. Like that show's so good. And I think my dad, low key, like when like in the 90s, like one of the main characters of A Different World, Dwayne Wade, he had these like flip up glasses, and I think my dad also had a pair at the same time. Like he's very like culturally influential. But I love all those kinds of shows. So yeah, this started out as like the content I'm consuming.
Now we just did a whole TV deep dive. No, okay, but speaking of like TV celebrities, have you watched any of the US Open?
No, I have, because I'm like, for 5 seconds, I'm like, is this golf or tennis? And now I know that it's tennis. But I was like, I don't even know what sport we're all going to watch.
It's tennis. And I've really never been a tennis fan. But after this year, I have like a bucket list goal of going to the US Open because the people there, it is a scene. Like it's a scene.
It's a scene.
And so hearing like, guys, we had one of our friends, Meredith, who was on the trip with us this weekend. She got to go to the US Open. Homegirl saw Kevin Hart. Homegirl saw, like tons of tennis players, like Robert Federer, all these crazy people. Anna Wintour was like I don't know if she was arm's length, but she was like in direct line of sight from her seat. And so I don't know what kind of seats Meredith had. They had to be good ones. But saw Anna Wintour, literally editor-in-chief of Vogue. Like I'm like, I would probably pass out. I don't know. Who else did you see? Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah.
Also would fangirl. Like Ted.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're such a Ted Lasso girly.
And so Jason Sudeikis and his girlfriend, and then I feel like there was somebody else that she said. I can't remember.
There was. Now I can't.
Maybe
remember
it was just like other tennis
Kevin
players.
Hart. Yeah, you said Kevin Hart.
Yeah, but
I feel like I'll think
it's
about
just it's crazy. Like Taylor, Travis, and the other guy from the Chiefs. What's his name?
The quarterback, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, whatever. The other guy.
We're so sports literate. I'm like, I'm thinking the US Open is golf. And you're like, who's that other guy on the Chiefs?
Who's the other guy from the Chiefs that's like really important?
Back to back.
But they were all at the US Open. They were all there for the final today. Matthew McConaughey was there. Like, it is a scene for the stars of this world. And I've never known this about myself until recently. I think it was because when we lived in New York for a year, I never really saw any celebrities, and I'm so upset about it. And so now I'm like all about a celebrity sighting. Like I just want to see celebrities.
Yeah.
So I've got to go. I've just got to go.
That would be an insane thing to go do. Like it would be so cool to see. And I also feel like I would love to be like your stepdad and like get into tennis. Like when we're older. I don't know if I want to get into tennis right this second.
Yeah.
Just because I say that only because I don't know about you, like I can only commit to things based on the mental state that I'm in that given moment.
You can only get into so much at once too.
Yeah. But I feel like tennis is one of those things that you can play when you're older, and we should play. Like we should get into tennis.
We should make that like, call me in 20 years and we'll pick up tennis.
We're going to follow
I'm dead serious. Because my great aunt, Inez, she has been playing tennis for however many decades. She is literally like 83 years old and kicking my stepdad's patootie in tennis. Like she's a killer.
Inez. Yes.
83 years old. Yeah. So I'm just like, that's the key to aging, if I'm being honest.
No, I'm telling you, like we're going to be yoga and tennis as we age. Like forget about it. Like we're going to be so mobile. These joints, forget about it. Like going to be strong. Like, I don't know. I'm all about it. So tennis, I don't know that I'll ever, maybe I'll start with pickleball. Maybe I won't. But I feel like tennis is just such good exercise.
Yeah.
And good for hand-eye coordination. Like really, really good. So I want to go to the US Open. First, I guess I should know what the US Open is. Thank you for confirming that it is in fact tennis.
It is
because I know none of the players, and I swear that there's a golf US Open. Am I making that up? I need to look that up actually right now to make myself feel less crazy. Golf US Open.
I feel like that's like some kind of cup.
It totally is the US Open Championship.
Okay.
That's it's a golf thing. When is the next? How often do they play this? Because I just looked up and it's happening in 2027 somewhere else, but where is it happening this year? I think it already happened.
Okay.
Yeah. It already happened in Pinehurst, North Carolina this year. But so yeah, I am justified because there are 2 sports related US Opens. And I'm like,
there are indeed.
What are we talking about, guys?
Yeah, definitely tennis. Well, I think it's cool too because it's in New York. Like you're close to the city. It's where a lot of celebrities already are. But yeah, I mean, like Matthew McConaughey, he was literally at the Texas game yesterday, and he was at the US Open today. So
I saw some stuff where like two different NBA players, like Devin Booker was at like the US Open, and then at like the Indiana Fever game or something like that. And then Tyrese Halliburton was at like the Colts game and then went to the Indiana Fever game. Like, it's just sports season.
People just be bopping around. I know it is sports season. And let me tell you, I'm not ready for it because my husband, he gets in another state of being as soon as fall rolls around. I'm like, oh, okay.
I feel like this year, like I'm buckling up. Like last year I was dating Jay and I wasn't as keen on like Alabama football. This year I'm like, it's RTR Sayre this year. I'm like, I'm sending him texts. I'm like, how are we doing? I texted him yesterday while the game was happening. I was like, how are we doing? And I used we, and he was like, you want to get married? Like, he's like, loves me for that stuff.
Wait, okay. So you've like officially, because you grew up Auburn girl.
Yes, I grew up an Auburn fan. My family's just always loved Auburn. But I kind of didn't really care that much. Like I never really cared.
You like wanted to go to Auburn for a long time too.
Like high school, I guess like middle school, high school, childhood, I did. I wanted to go to Auburn. Liked Auburn a lot just because that was my family's team. And then got a bunch of scholarship money to go to Troy, so chose Troy. And then I think after that, I was just kind of like, my allegiance, like, I don't really care that much. Like, I'm a Troy fan. I would just tell pretty much after the time I went to Troy, I chose Troy. I was like, I'm a Troy fan. Like, I don't really care. Alabama, Auburn, it doesn't really matter to me. But now, my beloved is an Alabama fan. Like, he grew up in Tuscaloosa. And so I'm like, I'm in. I'm with you, babe.
Alabama girl. Like, wow.
I told
you joined at an interesting time.
Yeah, that's what I
hear. You
really
like sat it out for the Saban era, which is unfortunate for you.
I told him, I was like, we're going to do this year like kind of on a trial basis. We'll see how it goes. But I also just haven't ever really been that into like keeping up with college football, I guess. So this year I'm like, even in the off season, I was like, he would tell me like, I just watched this video about like Alabama in the off season. I'm like, okay, well, what's going on? Like, I need to be kept abreast of the latest if I'm going to be a fan of this team. Like, tell me what's going on. But really, like for NFL, to me, NFL is like Emily and Allison said it this weekend when we watched part of the Auburn game, and it's just a mess. And that people just are just running around and, not doing all that good. And Emily said, she's like, I feel like this is why I like the NFL. Why people like the NFL is because like amateur stuff like this just doesn't happen. Like everybody playing in the NFL is like, they are multimillionaires. They're professionals. It's like almost to me a better game to watch because they're just better. It's the difference between watching like T-ball and an MLB game. Like, they're just,
they're all good. I mean, they are all good enough to be paid millions of dollars to do it. So
exactly. Like they're all good. And there's just so much drama. There's so much drama.
Oh my gosh. And like the spouses, the girlfriends,
the wags.
Like,
give me the wag content. Love. I'm considering myself a wag. Jonathan was collegiate athlete. I'm a wag.
What does WAG stand for?
Wives. It's like wives and girlfriends. Like the wags are wives and girlfriends of like athletes, and
a posse that I would die to be a part of, and I will never be a part of.
And I remember, I think it was last summer. Maybe it was this time last year. Is the U.S. Open every year?
I think so.
I don't know, but I think it was this time last year that like the tennis wags were like, they were the it girls of
they were. And I think maybe it is every year because I remember it was right around the time that we had moved up to our current house that I was like listening to podcasts where everybody was just like fawning after the tennis girlfriends and talking about how amazing they were. Yeah.
And like they're doing this like day in their life and they're so glamorous.
Oh my gosh, with their tennis bracelets and their skirts and they're blonde and oh my God, yeah.
And they're like traveling with their, and it's most of them, it's like it's their boyfriend. So they're like just traveling with their boyfriend all over the world. He's playing tennis. She's looking gorgeous.
Yep.
And it's like we were all locked in. Like, I was so locked in. I can't tell you any of their names right now, but the way that I was so locked in. These girls.
Okay, this reminds me too, and this is a perfect thing to wrap up on, but I can't believe I haven't brought this up on the podcast. At least I don't think I have. But the thing that was playing over and over and over again on my TikTok algorithm was the significant others of the Olympians, and the video where like, especially the pole vaulting guy, where he like makes the world record on the pole vault and then runs straight to his girlfriend and people are like playing it with Alchemy in the background by Taylor Swift. And it's like, I'm crying. And there were 4 or 5 Olympians that did that. And I was like, this is not real life. This is a movie.
No, when they
so romantic.
Like they're joined with like their non-athlete like spouse or girlfriend or whatever. So good.
Yes,
so good.
and the guy and like the girl, I can't remember what kind of what sport she was doing. I don't even know if I ever saw the full video, but like beautiful black girl, and she like falls out in the sand, and then she gets up and like goes and runs to her boyfriend or husband or whatever. He's like, "You're this is the best moment I've ever witnessed in my life. This is amazing."
I know. To me, like the feeling that elicits is right up there with like military husbands and wives returning home. God. Like those videos. I'm like, I will never know what this is. But thank you for sharing it with me.
Like, this is the peak of humanity. Yes. Like, you people are the absolute, this is the best we've ever been as humans.
This is like aliens. If you're like, this is the best of us. Like, these people are the best that we have to give you. Like, they're
beautiful. Yes. They're in shape. Oh my gosh, they're loved.
They are the representatives of humanity for a reason. Like,
forget the presidents.
Forget them.
Forget them.
Our athletes and our servicemen and women, they are the true representatives. They are who I want representing me. It's those guys.
I stand by that.
Not my politicians. It is my athletes, my servicemen and women. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. We salute you.
We salute you. Call Me Thursday supports our athletes and our troops. Especially when you come home to us mere mortals.
And our children that hug you. So sweet.
Oh my gosh, so cute.
Gosh, so good. Oh, well.
Oh my gosh.
Well, as we wrap up, Sarah, what are you excited about?
Oh my gosh, coming off like such the high that was the bachelorette trip. Like we've been so excited about that for so long. I am most excited about what am I really excited about? Like I think I'm excited. This is just going to be such a layup for the next like 3 or 4 weeks, but I'm so excited to be married. I'm so excited to see Jonathan every day. I'm so excited to hug him every single day.
Not be long distance anymore.
Not be long distance, to hug each other every day, to have dinner together every day. I'm just so excited to like just be together all of the time. Like I'm so excited. I know. I mean, we've been long distance, and so to get married, to be in the same place. And we were like when we were talking earlier today, it's like there's so much like great things, but there's like there's movers and there's this and there's papers and there blah 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 blah, blah. And it's like there's all these like things that we have to do, but like eyes on the prize, baby, because on the other side of it we are going to be husband and wife. We're gonna be together forever. So that's what I'm excited about. That's what's like keeping me going when things feel like a buzz overwhelming. But yeah, that's what I'm most excited about. I'm gonna be a wife very, very soon. What about you? What are you excited about?
Less than 4 weeks. It's crazy.
I'm counting right now. Like, so from 1, 2, 3, from the day you guys are listening to this, it is 3, let me see, 1, 2,
3 weeks and 2 days, right?
3 weeks and 2 days from the day you guys are listening to this. I'm going to be getting married.
Crazy. Basically tomorrow. I am excited about one of my other best friends named Sarah just got engaged today. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she did?
Sarah Livingston, yeah. So Sarah Livingston, if you're listening to this, shout out to you, girl. You got a ring on your finger. I know. And we got to meet her boyfriend, fiance, when we were in Charlotte, and he's so sweet, so cool, such a perfect fit for her. We kind of knew it was coming really soon, but oh my gosh, I'm so excited for her. She's just like I cannot get over what a perfect fit they are for each other. So I'm so happy for her. They've been together for close to 2 years, I think. But her ring is stunning because she got a ring that was like a family ring that she had redone, and then Connor also got her a ring, and so she's got like the double diamond going. Stunning. Stunning. It's amazing.
I'm watching it. It's amazing. I'm watching the video right now. Literally just pulled it up on my Instagram. I'm like, hold please.
Yeah.
I need to see this.
It actually doesn't really show the ring in the video, but I'll send you a picture of it. It's beautiful.
I need photographic evidence. That is so exciting. I'm so wow. Now all of your Sarahs are going to be married.
It really is getting close to the time where like almost all of my close friends are married now.
I know. It's really winding down.
Which is really wild. So
it's really winding down. Like after like, my sisters and like a handful of other people, like, we're winding this thing down.
We are.
I love
and then
it.
Everybody starts popping out babies. So,
I know.
My God. Yep.
I know.
We're just growing up. We're
getting closer to the compound, which I've not given up on yet. The compound is still in full effect. I've talked about it more than once this weekend. Just know, Savannah, I haven't forgotten about it. I know. Invitation's still open.
Thank you.
I've re-invited everyone that was on the trip. I'm like, did you know you're still in on this, right? And they're like, yeah. I think Katie's the only one who's actually seriously down. I think Katie's the only one who's really serious. Because Katie and Guess are already talking about they might want to build, and I'm like, just give us a minute, give us a few years. We buy some land.
Listen, they'll build the trench and do it from Troy to Birmingham.
Literally, I said we're all going to be connected by underground tunnels. This is
tunnels, not the trench.
The compound's happening.
Oh my gosh, happening. Love it. Well, thank you guys for listening to another crazy chaotic episode of Call Me Thursday podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Instagram at Call Me Thursday podcast, and be sure to follow us on your podcast app so you never miss an episode, and leave us a 5-star review and let us know why you're loving the pod. So Sarah, I will call you Thursday.
Sounds like a plan, sister. I'll call you Thursday.
Okay, bye.